Atchison. Welcome to the Atchison Chat News. I'm Laura Wing, and this is my co-host,
Eric Royer. Good to see you, Atchison.
Yes, happy 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Today we are just going to go straight into the news. We're going to talk about events. We're going to do a little bit of history. I know you have some history. But before we get started, Eric, you have something special you'd like to mention to the community.
I would really like to thank the city department, or the workers for the water department. They actually worked all the way through the holidays to get through this water problem we were having.
Yeah.
And they are continuing to work 24 hours a day, no time off, no time for the holidays.
Yeah.
I just want to thank them and all the sacrifice they're giving up. And it's cold, to couple with it was the holidays, plus it was incredibly cold, and that river is always cold. So we want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are really, really, really the silent workers. You keep us going with water. Where would we be without that? So I want to thank you, and we're actually working on trying to get some things going as a thank you for them in the future. So,
I'd like to echo that sentiment. I know they worked diligently, and I travel for my job. I'm all over the place, and I was back and forth to South Dakota, and the Missouri River up there is frozen solid, like to the point where you can walk on it.
Wow.
And I think people don't realize that affects what happens down here. So when we don't get enough water and that pump was not deep enough,
right?
If your pump goes this high and your water is this high, you can't draw anything out. And so they worked so hard. And I had to work Christmas Day. So I get it. It's not fun. And we absolutely 100% appreciate those city workers.
Yes.
So on behalf of Atchison Chat, on behalf of Eric and myself, yes, we want to thank you, and we'd like to honor you for all of the sacrifices and work that you have done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
It's a new year.
It is.
It is 2023. Happy New Year, Atchison. 2022. It went by.
Oh my word! Yes.
Just like that.
I'll tell you what. It just seems like the other day. It seems like just the other day that it was 2022, but now it's not. So.
Just the other day. I can always count on Eric. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I tried to give up gambling, but I bet I won't make it.
Oh my goodness. So some years I make a resolution, some years I don't. This year I didn't. I didn't have time. I was working so much I didn't have time. But most years, don't laugh at me, most years I have the same resolution, and that is that I'm going to read one book for pleasure.
Okay.
One. Okay. Some years I don't do that. I read for information, but I want to tell everybody something really exciting. A lot of you know Ray Bear, and she does a lot for Atchison Chat.
Yes, she does.
She's our roving reporter. Ray, I'm going to make this announcement probably a little bit early, but she just sent off her second book for publication.
Oh,
it's
that's
probably
awesome.
going to be available at least by the end of January,
Oh,
I would
cool.
think. So I am going to read that book this year for pleasure.
Very good.
But what are your resolutions, Atchison? What resolutions do you have? Any New Year's resolutions? Drop them in the comment. We want to know. I think it's always fun to find out what people's goals are. So yes, it's January. I want to mention, though, something. Listen, guys, don't stop shopping locally. Now that Christmas is over, January, February, on up till March is sometimes the hardest for local businesses. We're all done shopping. We're all done doing our big shopping anyway. But those businesses still want to stay open so that next Christmas,
we have
you
some
can
more to
buy
go.
stuff all over again. So I would just want to remind everybody to continue shopping locally.
Exactly. And one of the cool things about shopping locally, sometimes you find things that you won't find anywhere else. I mean, there's some great local vendors, and they work through to get their items in. And so, as a thank you for what they do, we'll just keep on buying through the whole year.
Just keep buying locally.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Not a whole lot of events for January, but there's...
It looks like the indoor soccer sign-up just started with the Atchison Rec Association. I used to play that when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. It is a blast. But it's one of those things that goes on indoors, and so you don't have to worry about bundling up the kids or anything like that. And so you can actually go to the AtchisonRecAssociation.com, and you can sign up there. Sign-up goes all the way until January 20th, and so it's actually just a whole lot of fun. People work real hard to put that together, and like I said, when I was a kid, we played it, and it's so much fun. It gives you something to do, run off some energy when it's...
I have a question about soccer. Why do we call it soccer instead of football?
I think because football was already taken, wasn't it?
Well, no, because in other countries, soccer is referred to as football.
Right. I understand that, but I think American.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think American football was called football before we knew
maybe
soccer
they should have called it soccer and called soccer. I don't know. Anyway, something to ponder.
Yeah.
Wonder.
Well, that's what.
Sign up. Get your kids signed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's indoors, so you don't have to freeze or anything like that.
Exactly.
All right. Theater Atchison. Oh, this sounds really fun. On the 21st, Theater Atchison is doing a comedy club thing, right? And that's going to be held at the Event Center. And I like comedy.
Yes.
I know you do too.
Yes,
so
I enjoy it.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Get your tickets. Get a hold of Theater Atchison. Get those tickets.
Get to the box office. Look to be about $10 a piece, so you can go there. You can have a good time. It's going to be at the Event Center, so it's a great venue. And one of the best parts about that too is you get to see other people enjoy. You know, this time of year we kind of don't see as many people because we're not all out and about because it's so doggone cold.
Yeah. So at least there's something to go do in January after the holidays have winded down and you're sitting around thinking, now what?
Yeah.
That's what you get to go do.
Exactly.
So all right, Eric, I want to hear what you were telling me about Atchison possibly having been named something else until they settled on Atchison. What was that?
So Atchison was actually almost named Dilgertville because the Dilgert family was very, very much involved in town. A man by the name of Adam Dilgert was a stonemason and did the majority of the stone basements and foundations for a lot of the beautiful homes here in town. And as a thank you, they were so involved in building houses and everything that they actually almost changed the name to Dilgertville. The thing that stopped it was Atchison. There was the Atchison Santa Fe Topeka the Atchison Topeka Santa Fe Railroad, and it literally takes an act of Congress to rename a railroad.
Oh.
And so they're like, we'd love to honor you, but we can't. And so the Dilgerts even had downtown where Pete's Steakhouse is used to be a place called Dilgert's, and it was a store, and they sold confectionery items, everything.
I wonder why they didn't name the county then, maybe Dilgert County rather than Atchison County.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good question.
That's interesting. Huh? Yeah.
But so it could have been Dilgertville Chat, which would have been a little bit wouldn't have run.
Dilgertville Chat.
Yeah, wouldn't have quite done off. Yeah, exactly.
It just has a different ring to it.
It does. Doesn't roll off the tongue so well.
Well, that's really interesting. So just things to remember about January. We know it's a slower month. It's going to be cold. Stay warm. We want to hear what your New Year's resolutions are. We do, again, I want to reiterate how appreciative we are of those city workers for everything that they've done to get the water.
And the sacrifice they made and their families.
Also, Eric, I would really like to publicly thank Eric and your wife, Kirsten, for doing the news last month.
It was a lot of fun.
I had to work and I wasn't able to get the news out to you guys. Sorry about that. But you guys did a fantastic job, really. And we're going to have Kirsten back. I think y'all are going to see more of her around. She's going to become a staple here on the Atchison Chat News. So I will say this, I am a little afraid for this year's calendar.
Why's that?
Its days are numbered. Remember, Atchison, Jesus loves you, and so do we.